Dejounte hoop.
Yeah.
Draft odds ain't changed. We here.
First took away. Dance with this. Get your money's worth out.
Welcome to another episode of Pro Pills Talk. This program is brought to you by Scott Vicknair Injury Lawyers. Have you been injured in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt? Offshore hurt? Yeah. Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call, y'all. 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Yes, free. They always fight for the win. Now, got my dog 5 here. Justin pulling up here shortly. We got Leo, and then we got Ross here as well. Pelicans lose 104 here, 97. Entertaining game. Zion made his return. Dejounte's, I'd say his best game of the year so far. A lot of positives here, and for those who want the Pelicans to lose the rest of the way and not lose in the draft, in the tankathon, you had a good night tonight. So go start our field with Ross, man. Ross, fun game, man. Exciting game. We'll talk about Zion, but just what are your overall thoughts here of tonight's performance?
Yeah, I didn't think it was all bad. I mean, it was a loss, which we've gotten really accustomed to. But I thought Dejounte, like you said, played his best game of the year. I liked what I saw from the Dejounte Zion minutes. I think when the season's going this poorly, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first game they played together, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to find little positives, and for me that was the little positive that it was by far the best I've seen Dejounte look, both from just an effectiveness and energy perspective. And when you're trying to find things that you could maybe carry over to next year, that's really about the only one. So that I liked that, but otherwise execution it was poor. You saw just a bad turnover there at the end when you were down 4, you really needed a basket. So it was a lot of the same. Poor execution, poor planning that we normally see, but otherwise, I thought you had 2 pretty good individual performances.
5, man. Ross kind of talked a little bit about Dejounte here, but one of the things me and Lito did a show yesterday talking about just how Dejounte looked visually, right? He looked a little bit like he was finding a rhythm, he looked quicker, and tonight, he looked even more decisive, even more sure, even more in rhythm, getting downhill. His timing was a little bit better, but his stop, his acceleration, everything looked like the guy that the Pelicans signed up for. And I mean, again, 29 points tonight. Probably could have shot better from 3, and it was shot 50% from the free throw line, but 6 steals. I mean, I don't know what else you could have really asked for.
Yeah, man. This is the guy we all hoped for. What really told me was the end of the first half. He's in the middle. I think it's the end of the first half, right? He's trying to get the last second shot, cross left, right. Right to left, pull up, midi. It felt in rhythm. It felt like that's the guy we wanted to see. Seems like he was confident, like he had his feet under him. It took some time, bro. Like he really did break his wrist, right, or break his arm somewhere in there, and it takes time to get back in rhythm, bro. Like that was his hand, right? That's basketball is needed. It takes time to get in rhythm, and also playing with Zion helps. Although he's not like a spatial person, but he does have gravity. So now he's looking at one-on-one looks instead of 2 and 3 people, and he's playing off the secondary defender, not the initial one. So it's a little bit easier. And the Timberwolves aren't what they used to be defensively, but still they are formidable, right? And he was able to get a shot off. So this was the guy we were hoping to see.
Man, want to welcome Chaz to the show here, man. Chaz, I watched this game specifically when the game started to, when the Timberwolves started to get a lead, up by 6, up by 9, and it's like, okay, it looks like Pelicans gonna lose this one. I thought of you. I said this is an entertaining game. Zion was back, looked in shape. It was some fun. Crowd had some good time. You get a 360 windmill. You got Ant out there hooping. A bunch of different things in welcoming back Zion that just felt. CJ was god awful, but You just got god awful. But there was a lot of positives, I would say, to take out of this game, and you got the loss to where if games like these, when you 20 plus games, under 500, you won 2 in a row, you don't really know what that turned into. But if you were thinking long term, this is one of those games that are kind of like this point in the year, kind of best case, right?
It's funny because I was talking. Shout out to the panel, man. Shout out to Theo's, Ralston all the time. They call him Mr. T.
Hey, I was there today.
Hold on. Hey, hold on, Chaz. Before you go, Ross is having a meeting in there.
Yeah, he
having a meeting in there.
Ross took over
held court in that
holding court in the lobby in the motherfucker.
Hey,
you got to come see me.
You gotta walk past Ross when you get in the like, hey, take your shoes off when you get in there. Shout out to my dog Silver. Silver's hitting me up. He's like, I don't know, man. Maybe some of the confidence from these wins will start to translate, and then we all get the bombshell of Zion returning. And I had to calm Silver down. I had to ask Silver a real question.
Oh, Dolomite.
Yes, Warden?
You do know a man by the name of Willie Green, don't you?
Some folks say that Willie Green was the baddest motherfucker the world ever seen. But I want you to...
Hey, look, as long as you got Willie Green, you ain't nothing to worry about. Like, what's all this paranoia about? I hear people say, oh man, Zion about to fuck up the tank. Like, did you see this team earlier this season with homie? But overall, it was a very entertaining game. Again, I gotta give dudes props. I'd estimate him a little bit. I didn't think he would be in such game shape as he appeared to be. Getting up the court, had one play that just kind of he must have knew the hoes was in the building because Zion any other time, I don't give a fuck if it's a live ball. Zion is gonna go sit down at half court and put his shoe back on. He picked the shoe up, threw it. I was like, oh, he played like at least 60 seconds to 2 minutes without his shoe. Shout out to him. Shout out to Willie Green. If I got to give him a little props for anything, because you had a timeout and it was like 3:01 on the clock, and he was about to lose that fucking third timeout, and he called timeout. So shout out to them. Overall, that was a quality game. Thought Dejounte shot the ball well. I feel like the Pelicans lost this game at the free throw line. Truthfully, they missed 9 free throws. Something crazy. It was like Zion missed. I didn't think Zion was gonna make one. He missed 5. Dejounte missed 3.
Terrible from 3 too, huh?
Man,
god awful from 3. 12 of 41. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It's about 2 people I don't need to see no more. We really don't got. We're gonna talk about it. But overall, quality performance from the team. Timberwolves on the second night for back-to-back. We'll see how things look tomorrow in Portland, and it's going to be interesting to see if Zion plays.
I think it's home, right? I think it's a home game.
Yeah, my bad. I mean,
it's home.
My bad.
Yeah. And Edwards is incredible, man.
Yeah.
Yo, man, shout out to the chat, man. Look, I don't know how many likes we have right now, but it can't be enough. Close to 2. We got 232 in here. Shout out to y'all, man, for pulling up, man, and being on time as always, man. Lito. So we're talking a little bit about Zion, man. What are your thoughts of him showing what he's capable of tonight? First game back in shape.
I don't like that. I don't like that question at all.
What you mean?
I don't like that question at all. You gotta rephrase that. Hey man, dude is really good. Dude is really good, and that's an understatement. And I hate it. Like, he's so good. Like, I hate it because I know it's about to happen. It's like his energy, the dynamicness of his game, it literally changes everything for everybody. Puts, Dejounte back in the secondary, role. It allows CJ to just shoot, even though, he ain't shoot well tonight. And imagine if Trey is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it evens the playing field for everybody, and it's kind of like a ace in your pocket. But then you know what happens with it. It's like I'm not being pessimistic. I've just seen the story before many times, and But I will say, like, he played really well tonight. I'm with Chaz. I didn't think he was gonna be in such game shape. I think
almost like he hadn't been hurt.
Well, so Ross, we gotta throw to the. I mean, I don't know if I want to get into the. I don't know if it's even a conspiracy at this point, but I do want to be a little objective, right? Is it tonight? Like Zion hasn't touched a professional basketball floor, like in a setting, right in this setting, in what, like 2 months now.
Yeah,
Came back in the best shape that we've seen him in since the offseason. The last time we seen him play basketball in this shape was the end of last season. Came back from an injury in the season, which, like, longer than a month, I don't think we've ever seen him do as a Pelican. And just looked like Zion for the most part. There was a few moments where he was rusty, right? But I know what you're gonna say. But I do want to ask: is it even tonight? We were all happy to see him back on the floor. I hope he he stays healthy mentally, physically. But isn't this partially what is most kind of frustrating about the Zion Williamson experience, even in what he showed tonight?
Absolutely, because it's I mean, for him to come back and play that well, right? Like the team was giving you no information, and you know why they weren't giving you any information? Because I don't think they had any information. I think they found out Zion was playing the same way we all found out Zion was playing, and I mean it just a bit frustrating. Chaz and I have talked about this, and we've said it a few times. It's like, for as critical as you want to be of Zion, it highlights how just bad the team is when this guy who hasn't touched an NBA floor for 2 months can just show back up out of nowhere and be your best player by far. It speaks to his talent level, but it also speaks to the issues with the team and the issue with accountability, and the issue with him is that, there is upside there. Like, this can be a fun team to watch. He is an exciting player, like all the things that we already know. But when will we see it? How often will we see it? You don't know what to expect. The only thing that you can expect is that this team is going to be poorly coached no matter who plays. That's really the only thing you can say with any level of certainty.
Yeah. It felt like there were moments in this game, specifically when every time Minnesota would make a run, the Pelicans would come back and make a run. Pelicans take a little bit of a lead. And it's like, man, if they can keep this close going into the, if they can survive the third, we could have a ball game in the fourth and where the Pelicans have a chance to win, right? It felt like, Zion played 28 minutes, which also is crazy. It's crazy because, shit, sometimes when Zion's been healthy, you get close to 30 minutes. First game back, 28 minutes. Like, I thought, like, Chad, I think you tweeted maybe 5 a quarter, right? 28 minutes, first game back. Look, man, for those of y'all that like conspiracies, dog, like, I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, but shout out to him for doing everything that needed. If right, we're talking about a hamstring injury, finding a way to stay in shape and come back on the floor in better shape. I don't think I've seen him do that as a professional. All right. I thought somebody was going, you know what I mean?
Oh,
they hung Chris out to dry on that one.
Like, all right, don't worry about it.
Hung Chris out to dry.
I literally thought you was talking to Chaz. I swear to God.
Oh, because I wasn't sure who was speaking on it, but like, truthfully, I almost wonder if because I saw them do this a couple times I saw them do it when Brandon first came back, right? Of course, Brandon hadn't been out since fucking November, but it's like the minutes restriction is kind of optional depending on what's happening in the game with this team. So it was interesting to see him close. It was interesting to see Julius Randle close, honestly, because Julius Randle don't be closing no games at all no more. But I thought. Look, the last thing we had really heard prior to him coming back was that, he looks great, right? He looks phenomenal.
Fantastic was a word.
Yeah, the word was fantastic. He looks fantastic. And it's like, yeah, okay, do you mean aesthetically? Is he actually doing basketball stuff? But like Ross said, and we say all the time, it's like, even when I hear about Zion looking great in camp or in the scrimmage, these other dudes suck. like I don't give a fuck. It's like, oh man, you should have saw he was killing JRE. It was like, yeah, all right. Like that's what's up. The bar's kind of in hell. But overall, he showed up. He was in shape. Still had some rhythm issues off. The touch around the rim was still there, but got to get the free throws together. Attempted 2 threes. Knocked down quite a few floaters. Just showed some variety to his game. Handle looked crazy, looked terrible. And we got Melo. He said only thing Willie Green doing great is helping us get Cooper Flag. Hey, Melo, wait a minute.
Look at this cheap stuff you've been selling on the street.
Is your money good?
You ought to slap yourself for asking that question. Slap yourself.
Mr. Tina.
Harder. Harder! Now get my phone.
Thank you for the $5 home. Appreciate you, big dog. Oh, wait a minute, my bad, Chris. We got DJ. That was Willie Green. Swine song. Shout out to Will Chill. Also a member with the dime. He said,
shout out to Will.
Wow, see that Willie Green, that motherfucker, he back and we still can't win. These dudes, idiots. Tank or die. More money in the building.
You're so proud of you, sugar.
Oh, Grandma.
Say, could you lay 1,000 on Grandma, okay?
Come on now, Grandma just gave you $1,000 what, 2 days ago?
Well, what the fuck is the matter with you? I had to get my hair fixed and my nails. Shit, you want me to style, don't you? Shit. What the fuck? Well, thank you very much.
Appreciate you, brother. Brother, thank you. But go ahead.
You want me to follow that up, bro? Oh, wait, hold on, man. Yo, man, rest in peace, Debo, man. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, rest in peace, Tiny Listener. Man, Tiny Listener, man.
Tiny,
we ain't
no motherfucking freaks. We some family men. We getting it paper. You know what I'm talking about?
You know what's crazy? They got an old, y'all been fat and all that. They got an old fat and all that commercial with Debo. He was doing a commercial for, it was something that used to be in a Riverwalk, like his cousin from down here or something. So he was doing a commercial for them. But shout out to them, man. Shout out to them.
Yo, man, and shout out to all the good people that support us. Said, man,
we got 300 in the building.
Sunshine, 300, man, 300 on a team that is 20 plus games under 500.
That's love. Shout out to y'all.
Everybody can't relate, man. DraftKings Sportsbook, you gonna hear from them here shortly. John Deere, you name them, they support us. Theos, as Chaz mentioned earlier, Scott Vicknair, 4D, the fourth dimension. Y'all want to know how it's 10 o'clock right now at night, and we got all this energy to do this show, man. We take it to the fourth dimension, man. Lito, you I asked Five about this earlier, but I gotta ask again. You said, and I thought you was crazy when we was talking about Dejounte. We had a show. I don't know when it's gonna drop, but strictly about Dejounte's struggles. Yeah. And you said off of the last game against Washington, you saw something a little different.
Yeah.
And you see him tonight come out here with 29 and 6. Can you go into detail for those? Of course, they don't know. They haven't seen the show yet. Speak about what you saw in Washington that is, is kind of translated to tonight, and maybe something that people should be looking out going forward and him playing basketball.
Man, Five, my dog laughed at me.
I did.
Laughed at you.
He laughed at me.
I did. Like a rich laugh too.
Like Chad laughed at me.
Motherfucker laughing at me.
One of them, yep.
Yeah, because I'm styling on you.
Yeah.
You fool. That boy asked me, he was like, what do you think of Dejounte Murray? Are you worried? And I was like, yeah, I was up until whatever the last game they played. And he was like, so off of one game? And I'm like, it was different. The bop in his step was different. He's playing with freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't seem restricted. He wasn't thinking. You could see how he dribbled a basketball. Like he was just, you know what I'm saying? He was
like
free. Yeah, he was yo-yoing a basketball, and it was like, I ain't seen that before this year. Like he ain't look like he was having fun. And then the last game, you start to see like certain little movements. Like you start seeing, I don't know what he's doing with this fucking finger roll floater. That he's doing. I have no idea what he's doing with that.
Dog, back to back games, dog. Of the English on that motherfucker could have spent though around the backboard like crazy.
Oh, dog, he playing. I'm happy to see him in Zion minutes tonight too. Man, Dejounte, I mean, and 6 steals. Yeah.
You know what's wild? You know, him and Jamal Crawford from the same spot. I think he's one of his mentors, but you can see almost like a little bit of Jamal in his game a little bit, like when he has that bop in his step. Like he got super long arms, so all the crossovers seem like the width of the lane. It feels like, oh, I can see why you get by that many people and you're able to get this many steals just because his wingspan is so long. But there's different bop in his step, a twinkle in his eyeballs, like that. Maybe he was in DC and he was in Chocolate City. You know, that'd make me smile. It make me smile. Not in this cold weather. Sorry to you, Chaz. Oh, shout out to Shane.
Oh man, Shane always coming through supporting him, bro.
Come on, Chaz.
Appreciate you, dog.
I'm like totally lost. Like why?
How that's relevant? Like yeah,
like just played like every show, but I have no clue why anymore.
I'm with Shane because I kind of see it does look in better shape than he did to start the season. I don't know what that you can attribute that to, but yeah, something is afoot. Now I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Chaz talked about something earlier, talking about something was optional, where like Zion's minutes restriction or something like that.
Oh
right?
yeah, I think it's a little optional. Like
I think a lot of shit in this organization is optional, right?
How you feel today?
Hey, you know what's wild? Me and Ross Justin had this conversation today. Like, did he ever get like promoted from doubtful to questionable? Like, nah, motherfuckers is just skipping steps.
Just questionable, then available.
Like, all right.
Like the rules don't apply to him for everybody. That's a hell of a point. Everybody else, doubtful, questionable, plays.
Day to day, like maybe even a day to day in there. But
like it's crazy. But you guys,
let's start calling this the Zion rules, man.
Oh, we got OP said, "Will Griff wipe Willie's tears when Dolomite bends that corner?" It's funny you mentioned that. As you know, we raise money, so I got these shirts and hand painted, water paint. Commissioned them myself, and we got these shirts. Patriots on the show. We got the red, the white, and the blue. I couldn't. We ran out of like tan paint, so I couldn't get Monty's palm for that one. But thank you so much. Who was that? My bad, dog. That was OP. Will Griff wipe Willie's tears when Dolomite bends that corner. Oh man, you can go ahead, Griff.
Well, look, man. Look, if y'all, let's say y'all want to support the Patriot hoodies. Let's say that y'all want to, There's not enough super chats here. I gotta wait for y'all to do that here, man. I gotta wait for y'all to do that here, man. DraftKings Sportsbook. We gonna hear from them. You know what I'm saying? Be sure to bet responsibly, man. But you know what I mean? Turn 5 into 25, turn 5 into 35, 45. And look, you could, one of these nice hoodie shirts, it could be yours. It's $27.50.
It's the most wonderful time of the year for getting in hoops, football, and hockey action at DraftKings Sportsbook. In the season of giving, we're being gifted college football and college basketball, pro football and pro basketball, and add pro hockey too, almost 24/7. And here's a gift for all new customers. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BOOT. That's code BOOT, BOOT, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Happy holidays from DraftKings, The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Oh,
Yo,
wow.
Shout out to Cans, man. Shout out to Cans.
Shout out to the Cans, all right.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the, the judge.
Wait, check
peanut
this.
butter skin.
wait, check this out. Check this out. It's funny.
I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. With that big rack.
Big rack. This shows bills. Look,
maybe that's the joy, compassion that the
Pelicans.
Oh, we got Roby.
Oh shit.
Michael Roby, $10 said, why does the offense get stagnant in third? Willie G. I ain't never heard Willie G. If Willie Green knew that his nickname was Willie G, I think things would be a lot better. Not running any sets. Any thoughts?
The only sets we want to see. Never mind. I'll
tell you what it is. It's insanity, it's foolishness, and it's madness.
This woman obviously had lost her damn mind. She needs psychotropic medication. She pulls out her breasts and she's juggling them. Look like she about to fall over. Then she bends over and pulls down her panties. Spreads her cheeks. I'm not lying. I'm telling you what's on the video. Spreads her cheeks. This is madness.
This is madness.
Dog.
This show is brought to you by 4D.
This show was brought to you by
Standard Mortgage. Theo. So look, man,
Oh my God.
Maybe one day we'll get a milk sponsor,
but hey,
Ross, don't blame me. Don't blame me. It's off the rails. Nah, I'm just trying to, it's icy outside by me.
This is madness.
Can we?
I'm not lying. It's on the video. I saw it.
Man.
Just steer clear, Jay. Just
get it together.
Hey, yo. Hold on, Ross. Hold on, Ross.
Wait, get it together.
That boy Whitlock told himself to steer
He
clear.
said, I didn't want to unleash this beast.
Like what?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What do you mean, bro? What?
You sounded like a retired crack addict. Like,
oh man, he said that big rack of her.
Like he was doing her favor. Like,
yeah, like look, go on, little girl. Yeah, you're like, you better go sit down and stay in a child's place.
Oh,
that's a big freaky bitch, dog.
That's a freaking man. That's a freaking
nasty motherfucker, bro. With a straight face, like I know what I'm capable of.
Oh man.
Hey, bro, she probably worked next to that man every day. He probably growling some shit when she walked by, like
just smelling her, like she smell like
sniffing that seat and shit.
Oh god, with a fedora on.
Yeah, all right, look.
All right, back to my bad. Back to the show.
Yeah. All right. Well, look. I mean, the Pelicans got y'all know one of the things the Pelicans got up in the practice facility. All right, Ross.
Go ahead.
God damn.
Damn, man.
Moving.
I had an actual basketball question for you, bro. Oh, how many more games does Zion Williamson have with Willie Green?
Man, I don't know. I wasn't just sticking to a script. I really didn't think Zion was going to play for Willie again. I still feel like a Willie firing has to be imminent. Man, I can't give him more than 5 games. I really can't. I just – what is – I mean, this guy's an awful coach. Like, you see it even again tonight. I mean, 5 games. I don't think Zion plays five more games. To be totally honest with you, I question – and this doesn't answer your question, but I wonder how much it becoming open and public that the team is like actively trying to move Brandon. I wonder how much that moves Zion's timetable up for himself, like wanting to come back to the team and play. So I don't know, man. I still feel like Brandon will be off this roster by the end of the season. I feel like Willie Green won't be coaching this team by the end of the season. I can only hope those 2 things happen like as soon as humanly possible.
I was kind of the mind earlier this season that you couldn't really fire Willie Green until you saw the team with Zion. Like tonight is perfect, right? It's like perfect scenario because Zion didn't look like a guy who like it was his first game back, right. So you can't really say, oh, well, Zion was rusty, that's why we lost if you're Willie Green. But you can say my rotations were dog shit again. Second unit really didn't give you anything. So that goes back to team construction, which goes back to David Griffin. So I just think tonight was the best case scenario across the board. I think looking at the schedule, it gets pretty tough the remainder of this month. If Willie Green not let go this month, I think he's seeing the rest of the season through. Because at that point, it's like
surely we all agree. If this generally doesn't matter for a head coach, but like if he's not gone by the deadline, I don't see a reason to get rid of him. Yeah. Like I think
the longer you go,
the less value it has. That's why I really am shocked. Somebody put the record up earlier. What 729, 730, 731, whatever it is. Like that. Or we have 6 or 7 wins. I guess we got 7 now. You would be keeping this coach truly because you thought he was your best chance to get the first pick, because you can't be keeping him because you see him as the future, right? Because that's the only 2 options. I mean, that's right. Like either you're keeping him because you think, he's gotten an unfair shake and he's a good coach and he's the guy that's going to do whatever you think your team can do next season, or you're truly keeping him for the reason that a lot of us think, like because he's your best chance to get the first pick or a top 3 pick.
So, speaking of, we're talking value right now. I want to talk CJ McCollum, right? He was on a heater coming into tonight's game, right? 32, 33, 22, 50, 25 was his last 5 games. Offensively was playing his best basketball of the year. I'd say the last week and a half ish. What do you guys think his value is right now? Like, as a trade asset, around the league, we keep seeing teams like Phoenix lose games that they shouldn't lose. Lakers lose to, tonight, no Kyrie, no Luka. I'm not saying that those would be teams that would be interested in CJ, but you just give an example. And one night, it's just there's a lot of inconsistency around the league. Minnesota being an example, and I don't think. I think this deadline could be one of those deadlines where a lot of teams are kind of, throwing their just going for it, right? Memphis being a team who went from in 10 minutes having high odds of getting Jimmy Butler to apparently Jimmy coming out and saying, nah, I'm not interested. Where would you guys, what do you guys think CJ McCollum is worth right now? And do games like this even matter where he was easily the worst game of the season? 50 one night, 1 for 14 the next. If anyone wants to answer, it doesn't matter.
His value, it seems like it's all over the place a little bit because we've kind of seen some mock trades and stuff that have him getting traded for like just basically what I would consider almost a salary dump and like a second rounder or some second rounders. If that's the market for him right now, I certainly wouldn't trade him as a standalone asset. I would try to pair him with something else so that you could get a meaningful return. Having said that, like I don't think anybody puts any stock in tonight's game. I mean, he's played incredibly well. Historically, he's been a phenomenal shooter. He's been phenomenal basically for the last month. Like, I just chalk this up as a bad game. So I don't think it really has any bearing on his value, but there seems to be some differing opinions on what you would get for CJ on the open market as just a standalone asset.
I think you could get a quality late first from a contending team or multiple seconds even. Anything from maybe 18 to 20 something. I think because a team is going to look at CJ and say, I just need him to be the sixth man, or I just need him to be the third or fourth option. Just keep shooting 8 threes a game at the clip you're shooting them, and we good. And then next year your contract is declining. You're an expiring $30 million. Can put the ball on the ground, can facilitate in a pinch. I don't think a game like tonight, because the 50 game was such a how's he able to still do this? That I think a game like tonight, you're not really tripping on. And he had back-to-back really good games. Matter of fact, he's been having a good month up to this point. Played terrible tonight. Probably couldn't have played any worse. But I think teams are like, I'm not looking for you to come here and be our savior. I think we're looking for you to come here and add some maturity, add some professionalism. And we know what CJ provides at 33 years old and his tenure in the league. So I don't think changes anything. I think you still get a late first or multiple quality seconds. I think you get as many as 4 seconds for CJ.
5. If you were a team that was interested in acquiring CJ, what would you be thinking in regards to his role? What would you, and I know team to team, it could vary, but what do you think his role should be at this stage for a dude that can still easily average 20 a game? And what do you think that's worth right now at this stage? You muted, Bob.
To Chaz's point, I think he's right in the sense of it's a late first, and as it possibly gets closer to the deadline, it increases probably to a mid-round first if a team gets desperate. CJ's role on a really good team probably should be the sixth man. We thought this team would be good. I thought his role eventually would be the sixth man, especially even looking at last year, the minutes with him and Jonas would have been really good together. CJ against second unit guys, he would have killed. He would have still averaged 20 off the bench. But this would, put him in a retrospect. I mean, a respect of playing on a good team and then sometimes closing games, being a spatial shooter and also being able to create secondarily. The hard part of aging him is because he's not being put in an offense, that puts him in the same predicament each game. So you can't judge him because it always changes. And I think that's why we see this, these stats from TJ fluctuate so much, because he never really had this much bandwidth between performances, right? I thought he's been pretty consistent his entire career until he got here, because he's been in and out of the lineup. He has an inept coach. They don't have the similar style year after year. It's hard to be really good on a team like that. It really is. And the fact that he's done this and he's going to be the leader in made three-pointers in Pelicans history, Hornets Pelican history, is really just an homage to CJ himself. No one else should get this credit.
Do y'all think, because I tend to agree that, I wouldn't trade him, I don't think, for less than a first rounder. But, I mean, do you guys think that the team would actually trade CJ McCollum for salary relief and a couple second rounders? I don't believe that's a move the team that this current GM would make right now, but I'm curious to hear y'all's opinion on that.
They don't show. I mean, if we're going off track record, they don't show to be an organization that's thinking of making any type of move like that would be even close to perceived as a loss. I think in the case that you're in, where you're like they seem to procrastinate on a lot of these moves, and we have multiple examples of such. So it would be a forward-thinking move to even say, all right, even if we're taking a little bit less than what we ultimately think he's worth right now, it's best to get ahead of it now. We get a veteran off of the team now. We clearly see the season is over with. We can go ahead and, invest in as many Trey Murphy minutes and shots as possible, invest in Dejounte Murray, invest in Zion Williamson, and make Brandon and CJ our trading deadline goals. I mean, I think at this point, you might be lucky if you get them to trade one at this point. Track record alone, even if we think, yeah, if you got to end up making a move right now, I would probably, as an organization, I would strongly consider it.
I think CJ is probably still the easiest to move. I do think you'll find a scenario where a team is playing the long game with a CJ saying, oh, well, shit, he's expiring next year on a declining contract. He actually plays games. He's a plug and play kind of guy. Pause. He can sound like David Griffin over here. So he can plug and play kind of guy. And I think he can he can help a team that's like who has struggling second units. Ironically, I think he could help Minnesota a lot, truthfully. I think teams like Cleveland don't look like they need help with nothing. But once you get like closer to the playoffs, I think he can help a team like Cleveland. I think he can help Golden State because Buddy Hield and Schroeder's been a disaster for them. I think he can help a lot of teams, honestly.
When I look at a team that like stands out for the type of trade that I think that you were thinking about, Chaz, of a team that has extra picks that may not have quite as much value to them at the break. And would also be able to just easily match the salary and the player, I think is kind of a stylistic fit is like the Thunder. The Thunder have the Heat's first rounder this year. They got the Clippers first rounder this year. Those are going to both be in that like 16 to 25 range. I mean, can you imagine like CJ is their seventh player off the bench, especially once you get Chet back? Like that becomes a meaningful move, I think, that really doesn't have any long-term ramifications on what they're trying to do from a salary perspective, or wouldn't like prohibit. In fact, you could make an argument it would help them bring in a second star or a third star, however you would want to look at it this summer. If they decided to move CJ, it would give them a bigger tranche of salary. Like that's a trade that I think could easily happen if this team is thinking that way.
Let me ask y'all something. What do y'all think should be? I mean, I think for this team, both organization both should be important. But if you had to prioritize between salary cap flexibility and draft assets, what would be higher on your list in trying to, with having two guys that you need to move on for or find new homes for very soon within the next, hopefully 30 days, but maybe a little bit beyond that heading into the offseason?
Want to go 5?
I think draft capital is probably the thing that you look for, because it all can transition to anything else, right? Like you need to replace or replenish this war chest that you said you had. Whatever it was is gone. If you want to start anew, right? If that's a plan, but that also depends on your strategy and how you forwardly think. And I don't know if this organization is set up to do so. But if I was a GM and that's the plan, I would try to replenish said war chest.
I think if your goal is to win, you got to get the draft capital. Even when you look at, I put out like a hypothetical thing. We spoke about it earlier. Let's say even with a guy like Bill, if you had an opportunity to get Bill and duck the tax and the people are going to pay you to take on Bill's contract, then I think you do it, just because it's only 2 years at this point. Who knows what he's going to do in his final year, but yet and still, the Pelicans don't have as many draft assets as we originally thought. And truthfully, when you see performances like tonight, or I'm not even gonna say tonight, when you see performances so far this month that you see from Herb, that you see from Hawkins, they start to look like less of a bargain, like, because the whole thing was, well, you got Herb on this great contract. It's like, yeah, but if he's shitty, he's being overpaid, because I can get anybody to do what he does right now. So I think you got to start kind of consolidating and restocking the quote unquote war chest. So, like, to Ross's point, you can go big game hunting in the offseason. I think the Pelicans find themselves in a unique situation. Like, for me, I just want the Brandon thing to be over with, right? I just want it to be done with, like, personally. I'm just tired of even having to entertain it. But if you could go into the offseason and say sign and trade Brandon and aggregate his salary with Herb and Hawkins or whatever, and go big game hunting because you got like 4 seconds for CJ or another first for CJ or what have you, then I think you just give yourself more time if you just acquire more assets. You give yourself more bites at the apple, because we saw what happened with Phoenix tonight. Trae Young just hit a fucking half-court buzzer beater to beat Utah. Like, it's unbelievable, right? So you just go through, like, it's, to me, initially you had to just be done with the Brandon thing, right? Just to rip the Band-Aid off totally. But it's looking now like Miami not giving you shit for Brandon. Your only real option is if you send Brandon to Miami, you take on Bill, and Phoenix gives you their first, like, for you doing them the favor. Maybe you send CJ to Detroit or something, you get a little something from them, et cetera, et cetera. But now you're in the offseason and you don't have many ways to go get a great player. Versus if you just say, I got to keep one of y'all to the offseason just so I have a way to go get somebody good, then, Brandon probably would have more value in that scenario. You can sign and trade him 2 years, maybe, I don't even know what Brandon's getting these days. 2 years, let's just say $50 million to make it a solid number. 2 years, $50 million. You add Herb, that gets you about $38 million. You add whatever else, and you go get who you looking for or what have you.
Ross?
Yeah. I mean, I think I probably agree with Chaz and 5. The only thing that scares me, well, first off, he's right. Like, there is no war chest anymore. I think the only thing we have left is a swap with the Bucks.
You got like one or two unprotected. No, 504 boy.
Oh, look at him.
Shout out to you, Jay, dog.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, we appreciate you, brother. Greasing our palms. Pause. Yo, man, it's no way. Never mind. There's no way for me to really say it, and it. Never mind. How about
you? You know what? I'm gonna let you. What? Hey!
Oh!
Wait, hold on.
We definitely gonna get to everybody, man. We appreciate all y'all.
Just to go back, but it's funny that Will sent this, because I think that's my biggest fear, is that you make these moves and you trade for these picks, and then you actually like make the picks. You don't trade them. You do basically what you just did with all these Laker picks and all these other Bucks picks. Either go to waste, or you don't really extract maximum value from them, because there's nothing worse than these things turning into a bunch of 26 picks or 20th, just useless stuff, or some of them transition to second rounders. That's why for me there has to be a plan, and I just don't trust this group to have that kind of like long-term strategic plan. It's a little too just fly by the seat of your pants, try to keep a Band-Aid on this shit, try to keep it like somewhat not terribly different than what the Saints have done these last 4 years. Do your best to like keep a bad group of players together so that you can sell the idea of we're trying to make the playoffs, do X, Y, and Z, but you're really not doing that. That's my biggest fear, is that you trade for a bunch of picks and you find yourself with the same people in charge doing the exact same thing that they just did for the last 5 years, which led to nothing.
It's like continuity doesn't equal contending.
Right.
So at a certain point, shout out the young prospect. I've been just waiting for the day to Pels cut that cane.
Hey,
appreciate you, bro.
Is he? I haven't seen him. He's still on the team.
He out with the flu or some shit. I don't even know.
Well, you know what? Don't worry.
I'm from the home of serve packs and things. Quick to stab their brother in the back for change. And as a youngin', I was taught the game. Used to watch my daddy while he cut that cane. See it?
Oh man, VA 2 up, 2 down. Shout out to VA's five. Trey Songz in the building. That Songs with a Z. But
we've been y'all.
Yeah, what's the lights like, family?
Why y'all check on that? I feel like we've been beating around the bush on like how bad Hawkins has been.
Ooh, that's. I think that's a great alley. Can I ask? I'm gonna ask you this question, Ross. Let me ask you this, Ross. So we saw Antonio Reeves have one explosive offensive output, right? Do you think today is Jordan Hawkins $3 million better, or $2 to $3 million better than Antonio Reeves?
You could just stop.
So you don't think he's significantly better at all?
You don't. I don't think if on the open market, what would Jordan Hawkins get right now?
Think he get a second.
I'm saying, like, if he was a free agent, how much money?
Oh, free agent? Oh, he probably a minimum player.
Exactly my point. He ain't $3 million better than anybody right now. I've been real disappointed. I think he's been. I just haven't seen really any progression. I haven't seen. I mean, man, if you go take away that one Mavs game last year, there's just not a lot of bright spots. It's
he
hard.
started off this year really good before he got
Portland game, Pacer game.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Denver game.
Ross, so let me ask you again here, Ross, and I want to hear Five's point as well. I feel like the conversation we're having about Jordan Hawkins, we had about Dyson, maybe some other young guys, Trey Murphy at certain points, to where they're playing around shit, right? Around mud. They're not, we talk about how so many other players are not being used properly. They're not being put in places, in spots to succeed, right? Now, at the end of the day, if you got to figure it out. If this is your livelihood, you're an individual, you have to make it work. Jordan Hawkins' case, I think he's shooting like 33% from three on the year right now. Like that's his job, injury or not. He has to figure out a way. But I look at a team like if he was at Orlando, right, to where they need shooting. They desperately need shooting.
Shoot like that. This is the problem. Like I like I'm with you, Chris. I get it. And in theory, yes. But he hasn't proven he can shoot at the NBA level. Like, what does he do? I mean, I get it that the shot looks like it should be pretty good, but the dude shot like 37% last year, 32% from three or whatever it was.
He shot 36, and he shooting 32 this year.
From three or from the field?
Yeah, from three. But from the field, it's bad.
Awful. Like, bad. I want to say like, yeah, he's gonna be this or he's gonna be able to do that, but god damn, he ain't giving me much to believe in. He ain't giving me much to go on.
What Trey Murphy shooting from three this year?
I think around 37, 36, 37, somewhere around there.
36.4.
Yeah.
Right. Is Trey Murphy a good shooter?
What Trey Murphy shot for his career? You can't. I mean, that's not.
Is Trey Murphy a good shooter? Like.
Yes, Trey Murphy's a very good shooter.
Very good shooter. All right. Like I think that those two have like similar trajectories in the sense of shooting. Like they just play under Willie Green, bro. Yes, Ross. One is 6'10 and one is 6'4. I get it. I think Jordan Hawkins can shoot the fucking basketball. There's no doubt about that. He just plays under Willie Green. Dog, like that shit matters. No, he doesn't have an offensive game. No, he cannot dribble the basketball. No, he cannot. That is point blank. But when you're told that this is what you're gonna do is shoot, and nobody's drawing up anything for you, like, well, I gotta go figure it out on my own. I think Trey had similar problems. Like you gotta figure out where to shoot, and I gotta get minutes. Like It's not. It's troubling, dog. Yeah, it's super troubling. But I do think if he was in a different predicament, a different situation, under better coaching, I think this might be near 40%, not 32, 34, whatever the fuck it is.
So shout out, and I do want to hear Ross's rebuttal to that. Chaz, do me a favor. I'm talking to Grub. Shout out to Grub right now.
Shout out to Grub, man.
If we can find part of Zion's press conference of him and Grub having a conversation, I wanna pull it up here. Apparently, it was interesting, to say the least. Ross, you want to respond to Five's point?
It's one thing to say that he can shoot, and in another place he would be able to. But it's not. You're right. You're right to compare it to Dyson a little bit, because we all said Dyson can play defense, but he can't dribble, and he doesn't rebound that well, and he can't pass, can't facilitate, and I find myself just saying the same things about Hawk. Okay, even if I give him the fact that maybe at some point he should be able to shoot, maybe haven't seen it yet, haven't seen any kind of mid-range game, haven't seen him be able to like score consistently, haven't seen him be able to do any of that, but let's just chalk that other part up. I haven't seen anything else he can do. Like I'm just not seeing like a fluid basketball game. I know Willie Green sucks. I know, but Trey Murphy gave us a ton to be excited about here and there, glimpses, really good games, really consistent games over a long period of time. There was frustration that he wasn't getting more opportunity, but he's shooting 32% from the field and 35% or 4% from three or whatever, and it just doesn't look. I don't know, man. I'm struggling. I just struggle to see a path to what's the upside? I struggle to see a path to this dude's going to turn into that.
Okay, my only rebuttal to that it's like Dyson, right? We were told Dyson can dribble. We were told Dyson can facilitate. We were told all of these things. We just knew Jordan Hawkins can shoot. That's all we knew. Like that, we're comparing the two, but they drafted Jordan Hawkins to shoot the basketball, but they didn't put him in a situation to really do so. Like to self-create, that wasn't his job to do. Now we're asking him to develop his game. I've been begging him to get a better handle. That'll create more open shots for him. I think he has the ability to, but it's up to him at this point, right? And he got to break through one Willie Green pause, and he got to figure out a way just to get on the floor consistently. I think Trey, to a point he got to, with injuries, was able to get on the floor a lot more than Jordan Hawkins had. Shit.
I think they just they shit on themselves salary wise. To me, I just feel like if you draft Reeves, you kind of got a way to move away from Hawkins, because I don't think – I take into account, you got the back injury. You're already 22. 22 is like fucking child in the NBA, right? But you're already 22. You don't – even though you're a shooter, you can't, shoot effectively at this stage, because it's kind of like Devontae Graham all over again, where, a person has a reputation for something – and even on wide open looks, it's damn, you really can't defend. It's going to take you some time to gain weight. And in the meantime, I'm paying you more than I could have paid Matt Ryan, that I'm currently paying Antonio Reeves, that I probably could have paid Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley's making $5 million. This motherfucker be hitting 10 threes a game. So it just looks, the resources just look crazy when you're considering what you need right now. And I don't know. I think they moving them. And
you know what, Chaz? I think even from that sentiment, even if you are open to moving them, right? You're not, to Five's point, and I think we all would agree. Yves Missy's in the perfect situation right now because they don't have another option. So fail, success, he's getting out there, he's getting valuable reps. He's allowed to fail. He doesn't have to worry about being benched. He can have the worst damn month that we've ever seen a Pelicans center. He could be Hilton Armstrong bad. and nobody will care. Nobody will care because there's no one to take minutes from him. He's gotten a chance to do some things positive, and like it's clear, right? Like this is what you're all the way in investing in him right now. Whether even if he's not the starting center of the future, he's not an all-star, whether he wins Rookie of the Year or not, perfect situation for him. Now we're talking about 21st overall pick, right? You drafted Dyson Daniels at what, 8?
Yep.
You drafted Jordan Hawkins at 13, and you did nothing to give them the runway that they needed. In fact, even Trey Murphy, you found ways and players to get in the way of their success. Now look, Ross, it does not mean at the end of the day the responsibility is on you. I'm big on that. No matter what, the responsibility is on you to find a way to make this shit work. I don't give a fuck what hand you dealt, figure it out. But we do have to give some level of accountability to the organization from not giving some of these dudes that they invested lottery draft picks in real chances to fail over, like young players, chances to fail to figure shit out before they set up. They can't figure it out. We're gonna throw Najee Marshall out here. We're gonna throw these other guys in here that haven't been here long, and we'll see what happens.
Is Jordan an upperclassman?
Yeah, he's like I think he's 23. This is what, his second year in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's about to turn 23. And that Chris, that's my problem. Like I understand what y'all are saying. I really do, because when you talk about, I guess, giving him the chance to fail, I think maybe what you're probably alluding to is you didn't give him any resources to be successful. Because I do think to a certain degree they did kind of the same as Dyson. And I just saw somebody put it in the chat. There's this notion that he's not playing. Like, he averaged 18 minutes a game across like 70 games as a rookie. This year he's averaging like 23, 24 minutes a game for all the games he's been healthy. And so it's not like I get it that they're not giving him probably any tools or resources. You're kind of just putting him out there and saying, figure it out. And that's likely a little unfair, but he is being given time to play. Like, he's just not doing anything with it. Like, he's on the court. And I think that for me is where I struggle. If he wasn't playing, then we're fucking it up. I think the fuck up here is probably that, like, you're just putting him out. It's almost like in some ways it is similar to Messi. Messi just is playing a position where there's nobody behind him. As a rookie, nobody really expects you to, like, it's really like, hey man, if you can go block some shots and get some rebounds and hustle like that,
just run.
That's fine. Like, you don't have to make shots. Like, missing shots looks worse than missing a defensive rotation or something. Like, those two things, one of them looks bad, one of them, half the people don't even notice it, right? And so I think there is some unfair components of that when we talk about Hawk. At the same time, like you said, like, you're a pro and you've been out there, like, you played over 1,000 minutes as a rookie. It's a lot of minutes.
I guess. Shout out to Jim, man.
Shout out to Jim. Shout out to Will. Shout out to Jim. Y'all go ahead. Will and Jim.
Just in response to it, like, we can look at it. Okay, yeah, he played 18 minutes a night, but what did those 18 minutes actually look like?
I don't know.
Who the fuck is he playing with? Right? Like, what?
That's fair. That's fair.
Him being a guard, he can't dribble, but I'm gonna put the ball in his hands. Like, what the fuck? Like, this isn't advantageous for him. Like, he can't dribble. He can't create his own shot. But then he's gonna get a grenade at the end of a shot clock, and he's make that one. What? Zion been dribbling the ball for 15, 30 seconds, or CJ. I just got caught, and now I gotta shoot. Like, it's troubling, but it goes both ways, right? Pause. Like,
definitely.
You got to be able to do something with the minutes, even though things are against you. That's just fucking life, right? We all go through those things where, hey, bro, this is life. You got to figure it out. You might have to do something you don't want to do to get to a place where you do want to do. Like, it is what it is. And Jordan Hawkins is just in that place right now.
I think they played themselves financially. We're making him be the easiest thing to kind of jettison if you wanted to. Because you still got to get into the tax. So it's like somebody has to go around this bitch, and it's ultimately it's like, what do you end up doing with Antonio Reeves at one point? But we got the Zion footage from the post game. Shout out to David Grubb. I I don't know what the timestamp is, so we're gonna just have to play this motherfucker pause and see what happens. Appreciate y'all for donating and bearing with us.
How did it feel just to be back out there and get to play again?
It felt great to be back out there with my teammates and, to be able to play in front of our fans.
And just, in previous comebacks for you, we've talked about how, needing a few games to kind of get your rhythm, get your feet under you. Did it kind of feel like in this one you were able to have that explosion, have that force that you're used to playing with?
Absolutely. I definitely feel like my legs are already under me. Now it's just in-game rhythm, but don't got time to take 3 to 5 games for that. I'm just going to figure it out as quick as possible.
And for you, you talked about this early in the season, but what's the key for you just staying on the court, making sure you can, address some of the things that kept you off the court in the past and making sure you can kind of build on this?
Just keep learning more and more about my body, how my body reacts to certain things, working with the team and, just talking it through.
Certainly, you don't want to come back and have a loss, especially when the team had won a couple of games. But what do you feel like for yourself this first game back? What did you learn about yourself and your teammates can be on the floor with them and to be in a competitive situation again after so many weeks away?
It was definitely good to be back out there. And, it was just good to see my teammates, competing. The Timberwolves started off hot, but, nobody was really bothered by it. Everybody was like, nah, we good. Just stick to what we do. And as far as us losing the game, it's just X's and O's throughout the game that we just got to be better at. No excuse for it. Just got to be better at it.
There's been so many conversations while you were out about you, about the status of the team, about all these things.
What were they saying about me?
About whether or not you were up for trades, whether or not, how you were attacking rehab, all those things.
What do you think about that?
What do I think about?
Like what they were saying? What were they saying? Like what they were saying about me?
If you're talking about trade speculation, I would say I think
it's whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, I would say it was premature. I said we hadn't seen what you could do this year with this group. That's what I think we're all at the point, considering where the record is now. That's the main thing the rest of the way is to see how you're doing and what your future is in New Orleans.
I respect that honesty. My fault. I cut you off. Keep going.
Hey, you asked.
Nah, I respect the honesty. At the end of the day, you control the thing.
That's motherfucking journalism.
That's how you do it.
Bars. Bars. Something you don't know a motherfucking thing about. Bars.
Things you can control and accept the things you can't. As a professional, only thing I can do is come into work every day, work hard, and have fun. At the end of the day, get to play basketball for a living. I love hooping. So, me and Dejounte talk about it a lot, not taking this for granted. So, just have fun and work hard.
Dejounte said you did attack the rehab, and that's something that a lot of guys.
That's it?
We done. That's all. I think that's more than enough to talk about.
Wait, y'all want to hear what is the last rehab comment, bro, man?
I said that you had attacked rehab. Do you feel like in this year, and you've been through rehab so many times in your short career at this point, do you feel like you approached it differently this time? Do you feel like you're in a different place? Because we talked about this before the season. That's the same thing. Did you feel like now you could focus on things better, that you were more mature in how you approach basketball? Did you see that for yourself during this time away? And did you notice for yourself, hey, I'm different. I'm not the rookie I was. I'm a professional basketball player now.
Just part of growing up. Like I said, just being a professional. And as far as this rehab, me and the Pels, we worked really hard during this rehab. The focus I had during this rehab was a bit more extreme. That's why, like I said, my legs are already under me. I feel like I didn't even miss a beat, but gained a beat. And now it's just, I don't have to worry about trying to find the rhythm.
All right. But, man, shout out to David Grubb, bro. Shout out to David Grubb, man. That was exemplary. That's how you do that.
I think we got a couple of things, and then we'll get to questions and close the show here, guys. All right. Solo. There we go. So he said that when I was texting him, he didn't mention the X and O's part. So that kind of caught me off guard.
We got the man in the building. Shout out to David Grubb, man.
Got the Grubb.
Got the man in the building. Thank you, Grubb. That's expert journalism, brother. Expert journalism. Thank you, Grubb.
Y'all be sure to tap into y'all look up David Grubb, man, and look up everything. The Bird Writes Hard in the Paint. Does great work with Tulane basketball. Y'all go support him, man, because that is how it's done. In my time of watching post-game press conferences, it's not many back and forth that's been done like that. Not many. Not many. Great job by Grubb and great job by Zion as well. But X's and O's, we gotta do better
throughout the whole game.
Throughout the whole game. That was not said by accident.
You
Get him out of here.
You know what Zion just said?
I respect your ambition, Willie, but you got to have vision.
Shout out to Dale. He just got the fuck out of here. Just bum out of here.
Dog. No, now I gotta go back and watch it.
That's incredible. Go ahead.
But he's right. You gotta have vision. You know the person that's coaching you doesn't have a vision. And I said this maybe a couple years ago. You're not a real superstar unless you get a motherfucker fired.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not a real superstar until you really, get a teardrop on your eye. You're not a real gangster. You're not an OG Bobby Johnson yet. You're not there yet. You get that black heart on your eye, then I know. That's what Ant trying to do. Ant trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
He's trying to get that star in his eye. That black heart. We'll see.
That boy cooking right now, huh? I mean, look, that's a really good point. And you know how it starts? You start hearing things like we weren't prepared tonight. We don't have any creativity. Only shots that are thrown that's specifically under a coach's realm of responsibility. I ain't heard Zion talk like that very often, Ross, and that was not. He ain't ask him shit. Like Grubb was talking specifically about the game, Ross.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Clown. No, I was. Look, I'm happy to hear that. I am, because it's time. It's time to stop pussyfooting around with Willie Green.
Ooh.
Like somebody, Griff ain't gonna do it. Gail's only gonna do it if it gets ugly, and it's somebody gonna have to make it ugly. And if it needs to be Zion, well, not needs to be. It has to be. If Zion wants to keep toiling around in mediocrity, then keep not saying anything. But if you want something to change and you're the star, well, I think that's a good start. You could be subtle about it. I mean, there ain't nobody else he's talking about when he says talk about X's and O's. Well, he's talking about William.
Yeah.
Willis.
Whatever you want to call it. I ain't calling him Willie no more. He ain't Willie to me.
Talking about Bill.
Yeah, Bill. His ass is Bill.
Talking about Bill.
Hey, man.
Don't settle. Go hard on them dudes. Everybody's trying to play the right way. Salute. Be aggressive.
Use the jab, man. Use the jab. I think again, much respect and kudos to Grubb. Like for real. Yeah, man. I just think he set up that question masterfully, and Zion was receptive. He wasn't acting like a hoe like Willie be acting sometimes. My bad, like Bill be acting, and he was responsive. And Grubb. It was a great tennis match because Grubb didn't go on the defensive like what you mean, like it was professional and both guys that was both, you saw two men showing alpha mentality and stepping up to the challenge, a mutual respect for that. And shout out to Grubb and his honesty and his courage, because it takes courage to ask real questions in that press room. It takes courage to tweet about these motherfuckers, but. Go ahead, Ross.
I was gonna say no, especially when Zion does, because he's doing that on purpose.
Yeah,
he's not.
What do you think?
He's asking that question because he doesn't like the question, and he knows that it's uncomfortable for him, and that's his mechanism of either avoiding it or trying to intimidate in some way. Like, well, what do you think? Like, and I thought Grubb did a great job of responding to that and kind of relaying the question back to him, force him to answer stuff. No, that was a great back and forth. But yeah, I appreciated Grubb not sort of cowering down to that tactic by Zion. He's done that before.
It's interesting though. Again, man, from the day Dejounte was brought here, Zion's there. Dejounte and Willie Green having this contentious, kind of is a little tension there at the press conference. Then first thing Dejounte says after his first game back is, game plan was terrible, et cetera, et cetera. And still, you need somebody with the cachet. If you're trying to get Willie Green under this bus, it got to be somebody with the the cachet and the clout that a Zion has. But hey, Zion, you can stay on the motherfucking court, bro. Like, you would never have this problem if you would stay on the court. So the onus is still on you to show improve and do your part of the job. Truthfully,
I thought something else that was really interesting. How he went, and I think Grubb did a good job of kind of leading them there. But the comments about the rehab element of it and how he worked with the team to kind of work a little bit. He showed more. They were a little bit more intense towards aggressive with how they attacked the rehab. I don't know what that means for previous rehabs, but I thought that was really interesting. Shout out to Amy Atmore. And then, him, Ross, your point about Zion not liking the question, I thought was also interesting, right? Because that could have went left. Grubb could have just went silent, and that could have stuttered around for a little bit, or he could have said, "Well, look, man, I think you should be traded." Like, I mean, who knows? He could have said a bunch of different things.
He could have went somewhere.
that could have went 5.
No, I was just saying, shout out to Grubb again, man.
Yeah, man.
Dude, like, if you ever get a chance to just have a basketball conversation, just a conversation with him, bro, like, he's really passionate about it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He don't, he don't back down from any challenge, whatever it is, whatever the conversation is. So, I mean, I've had many conversations, and we disagreed, but there's always been love and respect between anybody he's had a conversation with. But Zion, to that point, like, I don't know if he was like pissed off about the question, but I think like him being him is more like, well, let me see what you actually think about this. You think I need to be traded? You think I want to be here? So it's almost his way of not getting out of the question, but almost getting another layer to it to see if, you asking me this question. So let's see if you got an answer to it before I ask it. Because usually, reporters, we have an idea of what the answer we want from a athlete or anybody we're interviewing. But
can't say 5 that I've seen many people have that level. Zion have that level of comfort getting into detail about things since there was a certain individual that was in the press room last year.
Talking about the chick with the knotless braids?
No, not her. I think they own the show. 5, it was you.
Yeah.
Oh my! I'm tripping.
Peanut butter skin.
Huge rack of hers. Go ahead, Bob.
And I think being honest with Zion is the easiest thing to do. I think he'll probably respect Grubb even more after this.
Excuse me.
You know what I'm saying? Not that he didn't before, but you can see how. Watch, I'll continue to watch the press conferences, and as Grubb continues to ask questions, it'll be like he respects him more. He'll be more open because he's not trying to bait him to say something that he wouldn't want to say or something like that. I think that's always been Zion's MO. Like, he doesn't trust people. So you got to almost earn his trust before doing so.
Ross, any thoughts?
No, nothing additional. I mean, I think 5 has a really interesting perspective there because he's been in that room, and I haven't. So it's interesting to kind of get those different points of view. And yeah, like I said, shout out to Grubb for being in there and asking good questions. And I don't know. Oh, Borden, like the ice cream.
Hey, all right. So
Milk
Borden
company.
has this shop in Lafayette, dog.
Yeah,
And they make ice
that's
cream.
like that's the OG.
Dog.
Oh,
I've been to that one. I've been to that one countless times. Is that what he's talking about?
They got
Yeah,
the milk
I'm
factory
Borden, I know.
uptown. They got the milk factory uptown.
Nah, I'm talking
I
about
was talking about the milk.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about the OG.
They got
ice
milk
cream
in
shop.
Lafayette too.
Yeah.
They got
Hey.
elite milk.
Hey, man, you know what they say?
This woman obviously had lost her damn mind. She needs psychotropic medication. She pulls out her breasts and she's juggling them. Look like she's about to fall over. Then she bends over and pulls down her panties. Spreads her cheeks. I'm not lying. I'm telling you what's on the video. Spreads her cheeks. This is madness.
The chick in the background is the MVP because she's keeping it together. I mean, she's keeping it together by every ounce of her energy to keep that smile from cracking.
Shout out to Reverend Cornell X in Houston. He's been around for a long time. Shout out to Reverend Cornell X.
Hey, he a gangster for sure.
Oh, yeah, Cornell's a bad motherfucker. Yo, we want to get to the questions.
Shout out to Ted Marshall, man. Yo,
Ted Marshall.
$5, man. Y'all keep me interested in this team. Look, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Look, this the first game I watched from start to finish in about 3 weeks, man. So look, hey. Chaz, do y'all think Cooper Flag and Zion will be a good combo?
The water sounds nice. Take us there. Yeah, fuck. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I say let's do it. Look, I don't care if they ain't a good combo. I need to find out because like we falling on dire straits around this. Let's do it. Yes, facts.
5. I heard you say you be in the locker rooms. That's a little crazy when you word it like that. Why?
How did it start?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm reading it. Why doesn't Carlo play? Can you investigate? He's mad about it. He's mad.
Yeah. If you didn't see Carlo play, there's probably a reason why. If you didn't watch Summer League, then you really would. If you just watch Summer League, you know why. I don't think he's progressed to a point where he can play NBA minutes. He has some skill, athleticism. Is he better than Messi at this point? Probably not. So nah, I'm good on Carlo.
Shout out to Dev, man. Always
man.
Been a day one, man. Shout out to y'all fellas. All I have to say is this team must lead the league in out of timeout turnovers.
Hey, Dev.
X's and O's.
Dev, you ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying, bro.
The last one was just stupid, bro. Like, what was even the plan?
It's such a bad.
When y'all see stuff like that, thank you. Because I was about to ask Ross, do you see that more as like an execution thing or design?
I mean, it was poorly executed in the sense of like it's a bad design, and then Zion fumbles the ball out of bounds. But like, it's a bad design because you basically you're inbounding the ball, running away. Like you've got the player that's going to be receiving the ball running away from the basket towards more defenders. Like he's running away from the basket toward the sideline into traffic,
which is another defender.
Yeah,
like out of bounds is a defender as well.
It's just it's like little kid basketball 101. I coach 7 and 8 year old girls. Also, one thing I teach them: don't pick the ball up in the corner. Like keep a live dribble or pass out of it. Like the one thing that's going to happen, this basic basketball 101. Why would you inbound the ball? Why would you design a play that has you basically inbounding a ball to a player running directly at you with just a bad play design, in my opinion. Like
you can attribute it to both ways, right? It's a bad play design and they didn't execute it. Like the players on the court didn't execute it. Either way, the coach didn't prepare to, like, if that's the first time they've seen said, play, that falls on the coach. Like they shouldn't be trying shit for the first time. I know Zion hasn't played, but they shouldn't be trying shit for the first time in a real NBA basketball game.
In that scenario, like you would think in that scenario, right? Whatever it was, 18 seconds down, 4, you got to get a quick basket.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that's the play. Like you would think in that specific scenario, you're going to your very, very best play that you're most confident in that can get you a quick look, right? Because you're trying to get a quick 2, foul, pray they miss 1, and then you're just playing it out, trying to like. So there's no way that's why I mean it's bad design, because there's just no way that's the play that you have as your pet set that you go to. Like, we know we're going to get a good look out of this. He just drew that shit up two seconds before they went out there, and that's why it was a joke.
Pet set is crazy, but all like to that point, when you're in practice during the season, right? Shouldn't you just be working on like situational things, right? Like you already have your baseline of plays and stuff, but situational it's a thing that's ever changing. So you want to, hey, we're down 2 possessions. How do we score quickly with 18, 20 seconds left? What are we looking like? Side out of bounds, baseline out of bounds, multiple ideas. Are we on the far left side? Like all of these factors play into this. We talking about this on the podcast. I'm sure they're NBA coaches on this. I like a lot of them. There's no way they're not talking about this constantly. There's no way.
Pet set and 2 big cans. We got Gus here. Chaz, who's more skilled, Zion at basketball or Willie at being a bad coach?
Oh, man, question. I think Willie got that shit down pat. I think Willie in that head-to-head pause. Oh, Willie, that's
it's that Hall of Fame.
Yo, that's a thrashing. He beating the dog shit out of Zion. and that Willie got to be one. Like seriously, like all those aside, Willie is. Look, it's been a lot of black coaches for this organization. Willie's my least favorite. I've seen Monty fuck up time and time again. Byron Scott, yeah, he had Chris Paul, but Byron Scott wasn't this bad. He knew just to get the fuck out of Chris Paul's way. Chris Paul gonna do his thing, but Willie Green is god awful. Like he's terrible, man. He's terrible.
Shout out to Kai, man. Pelicans fans are the kid, and Zion is the deadbeat dad. He shows up every now and then, and y'all love him when he does, but at the end, he gonna break y'all heart, and y'all refuse to accept it.
Why you don't love me?
Kai is a season ticket holder and is at every fucking game. Kai talking that shit. Kai
talking about himself.
Yeah, Kai
he's the kid.
Why you don't love me?
I'm not the kid. You're the kid. You're the kid.
Kai every fucking game.
He tried to put us all in the collective on this. That's you talking about.
He tried to put us all in the paint. No, it's you, bro.
I just go for the hats. Kai, all right. Yeah, okay, Kai.
How funny is the comment? Like, he shows up every now and then. It's not even like he never shows up. It's like he does. He shows up every now and then.
Hey, little man. Getting big, huh? Where's mama at? Oh, you like baseball, huh?
I heard you like baseball. Your mama told me you've been playing.
Mama told you like baseball. That's all right.
You've been staying out of trouble, huh?
Oh yeah, you're doing the right thing, huh? How them grades looking?
Right, keep up them grades.
Yeah. Salute. Keep going. Keep gangbanging them books.
Right.
Salute. Get the fuck out of here. Shout out to Thomas, man. Justin doing the title for this team for the year. Hey, man, it's difficult. It's a difficult job, bro. It's difficult. This is just crazy. You grown, ain't you?
You grown, ain't you?
Yeah. So what you in, like the 6th grade? Like I'm a junior. I'm a junior at Howard. Like, oh damn.
Ain't no other man been coming by your mama, huh? Ain't no other man.
You're the man of the house now.
Your mama got any friends? Your mama got any friends?
You got it.
Hey, yo, hold on. That's crazy.
You getting big. All right.
Oh my God.
Good to see you, man.
You staying up with that shit, right?
Yeah, you doing the right thing. Let's get out of here, Dad.
Get out of here, Frank.
Yeah, beat it, senior. You fucked up your name, JJ. John Jr. Like, beat it, John.
This is crazy. I'm still your daddy now. Don't forget it. There's the one. All right, man. Look, appreciate y'all, man. Man, hour and 30 minutes is way too long to be talking about this god awful team. Shout out to all the super chats.
Thank all y'all, man. Got into the store real quick. Yeah.
Shit, bro. I'm sorry.
Everybody going into the dog spots in their mind. You got any cigarettes? Like, that.
Let me hold $10.
Let me hold $10. Yeah, tomorrow.
You working now, huh? You working, right?
All right.
You had the chicken shack? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Come by. Come by.
I thought you will.
Just like me when I was your age. How the ladies treating you?
Got any girlfriends?
Yeah, still dealing with that girl with that peanut butter skin and that big rack.
And on that note, for myself, for Ross,
you a chip off the old block.
For 5, for you got.
How come you never came to see me, man? All right, y'all. It's been a pleasure. We see y'all tomorrow. Be sure to smash the like button. Share the stream. You know what I'm saying? Holla at y'all tomorrow, man. Let's get this. I mean, yeah, whatever. Shout out Theo's, man. Peace. Shout out to Lala as well.
Sure.
All right, y'all.